Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a new series, or I'm starting a new series titled Let the Older Women Take the Younger Women. So the topic and the inspiration for this series is hinged on the Bible scripture in Thessalonians, where Paul was advising the older women to take the younger women. I'm going to start off with a very important topic, a topic that I've been researching on in recent times, and that topic is about pregnancy. So, like many of you know on the channel, I got pregnant. I got married last year, and before I got married, pregnancy was not a subject of conversation for me because it wasn't something that was on the table at that time. But now, since I got married, I now have to have this conversation about pregnancy, and then I realized I had a lot of fears about pregnancy. And so I went on Instagram, Twitter, social media, and blogs just to read about people's experiences with first time pregnancy. And there was one very recurrent, theme or recurrent topic was a lot of people or younger women like myself, well, the impression or said that their moms, older women, did not talk to them about pregnancy. They were all very surprised about what they experienced when they got pregnant. So today I decided I'm going to start a series about older women teaching the younger women. And who else to bring? I said I was going to bring my mom. So I've got my mom. She's the guest today. My mom is not a medical doctor. She's a university professor anyway, but her qualification for being here, which is the qualification anyone needs to have this conversation, is pregnancy. So if my memory serves me right, she's had 5 pregnancies with 6 children. And so she has quite experience. She can tell you one or two things about pregnancy. So I'm going to let my mom just introduce herself in just one line. So, mom, over to you.
Okay, thank you for having me. My name is Professor ABC Ezibe, and I'm the mother of the host.
Good qualification. Thank you for coming. Like I said, you've had 5 pregnancies, right? If my memory serves me right, that was 5 pregnancies, excluding miscarriages. Yeah, 6 children. So tell me, what was your first pregnancy like?
Yes.
What was your first pregnancy like?
Okay. Pregnancy in general is something that is very demanding, yet transformative. And no pregnancy is the same. Each pregnancy comes with its own peculiarity. That is one thing you should know. And one thing about pregnancy that is uniform is that it's a 40 weeks business, and it's a very serious business where you have changes in your body and with all the things that comes with it. So it's a kind of serious business for 40 weeks. If you're lucky, you have the baby before then, it can come in 38, some do come in 37 weeks. But you should know is that it's demanding and yet is transformative. That's what I have to say about pregnancy. And no 2 pregnancies are the same.
Okay, that's a very good start. No 2 pregnancy are the same. So we should not my experience or my expectation of pregnancy should not be based on whatever I've heard from my friends, because no 2 pregnancies are the same.
Yes.
I just want to ask a question. Yes. Did your mom discuss pregnancy with you before you got pregnant? Did your own mom?
Yes. Yes, my mom discussed pregnancy because my mom was a midwife. So she was a midwife. So and she always discussed pregnancy with us.
Okay.
So I have knowledge of pregnancy before I even get married.
Okay. Lovely. So the question would be, what was discussed with you and your experience? Did they tally together? When you finally had your own experience, did they meet your expectations, or was it below your expectations?
It was just the way, like just like I said, some pregnancy comes with their own, peculiarity. But generally, what she told me was most of the things I experienced.
Okay. Okay. So, what would you have to say? One of the things that concerns me, I don't know about whoever else that is watching, is the changes in your body. So, as a young person or as a young girl, you've been maybe single for like 29, 30 years. You've grown to love your body, and you know that pregnancy would kind of, I'm being careful to use the word, but damage your body or will considerably change your body. How did you manage that changes? Because you get today you weigh 67, tomorrow you get pregnant, you're weighing 90 kg, your nose is swollen, you can't recognize yourself. How did you manage those changes, or what would be your advice to anyone who's worried about those, body changes and what it would do to them?
Okay, what I want to say is, as far as you're a woman, you should know that what makes you a woman is your womb. I read one book that was describing a woman and a man in the Greek knowledge. It was saying that the difference between a man and a woman is that the woman is a man with a womb. That's the only difference from these two human beings. The man and the woman are the same, but a woman is different because she has a womb. So when you're born a woman, you should know that you have a womb. And what is that womb made for? That is where you should even start. The womb is made for procreation, is made for multiplication, and because you're a woman, you should know that that womb should be used. And once that womb come to use, there must be changes in your body system. But that knowledge alone will help you so that when you're growing up or when you're getting married, you know that this womb now, that is the difference between me and this man, is going to be used. And for this womb to come in use, there must be some changes. First of all, you make up your mind mentally. You have a mental understanding or get mentally balanced that there must be changes that will help you to balance it.
Okay. Something I should have said at the beginning of this conversation, which I did not say, is that my mom is an African woman. My
Yes,
mom
I'm
is
African woman.
my mom is an, I don't know which one is she, millennium, or I don't know which category she will fall into. I just want to say something to my audience who are watching this video, that whether you're able to carry pregnancy or whether you've chosen not to be pregnant, you are still a woman. It doesn't matter what your fertility journey is. Some women have made the decision they don't want to be pregnant. You are still woman, you're still good enough. I just want to let everyone that is watching know that the qualification for being a woman is not based on your ability to carry pregnancy. If you're not able to carry
Of course.
pregnancy,
But
make
I
your
was just
decision.
giving an illustration
I agree.
that
I agree.
those who are able to get pregnant should be happy that they're able to get pregnant, not that they cannot be pregnant, they don't want to be pregnant. So for me, being pregnant is a pride for a woman, unless you choose otherwise.
Yes, I just want to point out that people can make that choice that they don't want to undergo this journey, and you're still worthy. You're still enough. Having a child, does not define anything about you. If you want to have a child, go ahead and have one. If you don't want to, you're still enough. You're still worthy. So moving on. So what we learned from the previous session was for us to, how to cope with that body changes, to mentally prepare yourself that yes, I have a womb, and at some point this womb is going to come in use, and as a result of this womb coming in use, I will lose my figure, because I'll move from being a 60 to from weighing 60 kg to 90. I'll move from being a size 10 to a size 14. I think it's the, how do I put it? It's the, should I say, damages that comes with nature. So you're a woman, and it's what it says. Okay, so moving on.
I want to correct an impression. It's not a damage. It's a transformative change. It's not damage, because
Okay.
whatever that changes that will still come back, depending on how you see it. It's not a damage. You're not damaged. You're not destroying your body. It's just a transformation that you can also reverse after. So
Okay.
have that one in mind.
Okay, so you can see this is why I say older women should teach the younger women. I consider it a damage. Older women say it's transformative. You know, whatever you make your choice, damage or transformative. Either ways you choose. Okay, so moving on. One of the things I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who just recently had a baby in December last year, and one of the things she said to me was, no one told her that how messy labor is. And I remember sometime like 2 years ago, I was having a conversation on Facebook, and I did say that I thought labor was messy. But people, that word messy triggered a lot of people. People were like, how can you say something like this is messy, and something that brings life is messy? And like I always say, two truths can coexist. I think labor is messy, but it's also good. So I just want to say, what is your opinion? What are your thoughts on the process of labor being messy? Some women have to undergo tears, intensive labor, prolonged labor. I know you had an experience of prolonged labor and even lost a baby in the process. So what are your thoughts? Like when you walked into the labor room for the first time, did anything prepare you for the amount of mess that you had to deal with?
Okay. First of all, being pregnant may be very interesting, but the problem is giving birth. You can manage pregnancy in the sense that don't do this, and the baby will be growing. Personally, my fear was about giving birth,
Okay.
but it was not too far from what other women fear, because one, pain comes with labor. So you're going to undergo some physical pain. Then secondly is the complications. So as Christians, we'll be praying, God, don't allow me to have complications. There's something we normally say in the Bible, let me give birth like the Hebrew women. Hebrew women is that let there be no complication. Like before the doctor will say, bring scissors, bring this, then you have given birth. Like easy birth. That is what it means. Then the third fear is death, because some people die in pregnancy when they are not well managed. So these were the three things: the pain, if there's any complication, how am I going to manage it? Then, am I going to die? These were the fears.
Which
But
are
there's
valid
something.
fears also.
So there is something in our culture, or our, we like call it a proverb. They said, you know, because people die in war, that there'll be no war. Do you understand? People go to war knowing that people die in war. But your prayer is that you come back alive, being victorious. So that's the thing. So in pregnancy, first thing you should do is proper care. Proper care. Because with proper care and with medical science, some of these things have been reduced. Honestly, very reduced. It's not like in those olden days, people go through excruciating pain, and the people have this notion, you must deliver through your vagina. No, these days with medical science, they monitor the pregnancy. If it's not progressing, they do a CS, the mother will be alive, the baby will be alive, and reducing the pain for the mother. So there are a lot of improvement these days, and especially when you have a good medical care, you find that pregnancy, giving birth, all these things are easy now. So it shouldn't create too much fear. And you know one thing about life is all about risk. Even drinking water is a risk. So pregnancy is a risk, but because of the risk, you will not say let me run away from it, because some of us in business, we say not taking risk is even worse. So but if you take risk and succeed, then you have something to rejoice about. So what I'm saying is that despite the fears with pregnancy and giving birth, we still people still go into it, because at the end, if you are victorious, is a thing of joy. And like I said, medical science have reduced some of these complications to the nearest minimum. So, yes, to the lowest minimum, so that people don't suffer like that again. That is one
Okay.
thing about
Okay.
pregnancy.
So this one thing about labor. You're saying labor should not scare any of us. It can be well properly managed with medical science. Next question is after labor. So you've had this pregnancy, and now what next? Like you wake up, you're going through postpartum and all that. What for me, I think the part I fear the most is
Yes,
what will
that's
be
another thing.
after
That's
labor,
is
after the damage has been
yes.
done. How do I move on? How do I carry on?
There's no damage. Please change that word damage. There's nothing like damage. This is,
Okay.
like I said, is yes. After the transformative period, what's next? That is
Okay.
postpartum period. So, like I said, under postpartum period, this thing is also managed during pregnancy. Very important. First of all, why people have okay, no. During pregnancy, if you don't manage it well, maybe you have eclampsia, but eclampsia have been reduced with all the vaccines and all the medical care. People don't normally have it. In fact, the recent research said that it is 1 in 3,000. So it has really, really reduced. But about postpartum period, this one now, it has to do with emotional, I mean, hormonal changes in your system
Mm-hmm.
and the physiological changes. But one need to deal with it. One really need to deal with it because first of all, you have seen the bundle of joy that you produce. That alone will help you to manage the situation. But there are situations where people also lose it. Like from my knowledge, you have three types of postpartum. You have what we call baby blues. You have the one depression, and you now have psycho whatever. So, but in our African culture, why do mothers go for mugo? Why they go for mugo is to help the the woman who just gave birth to manage such situation. Very, very important because it must surely come. You must really, really notice some of these changes in your body. About baby blues, you now see there is a shift in your normal self, you know. But this baby blues is always the first 2 weeks. In the first 2 weeks, you may feel like crying. I want to, you don't, if you look at yourself in the mirror, you cry, your breast is big, maybe with milk, you become restless, you are anxious, anxiety sets in. But immediately it's 2 weeks, your body, you start adjusting. That's why mental, emotional health is important in this case. Just prepare your mentality about the situation. So that one, within the first 2 weeks, it has fizzled out. And some people, that is the end. They'll now begin to live their normal
Yes,
life.
it's possible
But
that.
if you don't manage it well, you can now go into depression, which is very bad. But with support of family members, maybe with your mother, who is an older person around you, one can manage it well. And a woman, my advice, don't allow yourself to go into postpartum depression. Is not good at all because it can even lead to the third one, which is the psychosis. So, but that one is really rare. So many women stop at baby blues. Some have a little depression before they come out. But at least as a woman coming from labor and giving birth, you have this feeling, oh, my breast is big, this and that. But like I said, with knowledge and the way things are, people have started managing it well. If maybe it is 4, 5, 6 months, you see the person coming back to shape. If you didn't deliver through CS, you see yourself doing little exercises to bring back your body and also to lose weight. And now people eat healthy. Not in those days, they will give you a cassava swallow, they give you this and that will make you add more weight. Now you see somebody who gave birth begin being fat. These days people can eat vegetable, eat things that are healthy so that they will not add weight. And before you know it, there's a way nature is. Your body will start coming back to its normal self because that baby that makes you to change that makes your body to change is no longer there. So your body will start readjusting. With little exercise, you see yourself coming back to your shape. There are many women there, they'll tell you they have 3, 4 children. They are still looking fit, even looking very good and having shape. So I want to correct this impression. Pregnancy does not damage anybody's. It can just change you for a while. After changing you, you come back to your normal shape. especially like I said, the knowledge, the awareness, everything is there now to help one come out of such situation.
Okay, okay, thank you. So, what are your concluding thoughts? What would you say to any young woman who's seeking to get pregnant or and is scared about pregnancy?
Okay. My concluding thoughts or word of advice is to encourage every young woman who wants to be pregnant to go ahead and get pregnant. First of all, God is on the person's side. The Lord who made you a woman, gave you a womb, will see you through. Secondly, fear should not prevent you from doing what you want to do. Life is all about risk, and not taking risk is even worse. But like I said, medical science, enough knowledge, enough information has made these things very easy and simple. So the best advice is do not be afraid. God is on your side. And again, there are a lot of information that will help you to carry you through such pregnancy, postpartum, and all the rest. So nobody should be afraid. That's my
Okay.
word of advice.
Okay, thank you so much, Mom, for coming. Thank you for your time, and thank you for the amount, the wealth of knowledge that you shared with us. Truly, older women should take the younger women. I totally agree. And to all our viewers or anyone who comes across this video, I hope that this video inspires some sort of conversation between you and the older women in your life. Or if you're the older women, I hope it inspires some sort of conversation between you and the younger women. So our take home today is pregnancy is scary, but we should not be afraid.